Hi, everybody. So my topic today is really about what I've been working on for the last, I guess, 10, 15 years. But a little bit about myself. I'm a physician, scientist, researcher, explorer, and also analog astronautics and exponential technology expert professional. But today's title is really about the company, the organization that we have formed, and it's Mars Academy USA. So we are a 21st century academy creating experiential learning with exponential technologies and also curating analog astronautics experiences. And you can see here, this is just a very small section of our mobile, portable, expandable base camp. So that therefore allows us to actually to go to different geolocations, terrain, anywhere that is able to support and deploy a mission. And that's what we've been doing. So right now, this was actually in the Mojave Desert. So these are low fidelity, short duration missions that we've been conducting and optimizing over the last year or so. But our plan is literally to be able to select in or select out potential candidates when they go through our training program to go to enter our progressive training services and program to be able to go to Kilimanjaro, which is our mid-fidelity missions, and to eventually to the high fidelity, which is Everest Base Camp and Antarctica. So that's actually starting now in planning phase for 2019 and 2020. So right now we're going to focus on the low fidelity short duration. So this is our organization, Mars Academy USA. Like I said, our vision really is about offering a new way, a new paradigm of learning, right? We want to be able to, I guess, I come from Singularity University there with Peter Diamandis at Silicon Valley. And Peter coined the acronym MTP. And MTP stands for a Massive Transformative Purpose. So what is our MTP for our organization? Well, that's what it is. It's literally trying to change the paradigm of education and learning and using technology. So it's really using this kind of new sexy word, I guess, what people are throwing around. It's called edutainment, right? So it's kind of a hybrid of both traditional education and then technology and gamification and virtual reality and mixed reality to be able to offer a really hands-on, interactive, experiential learning platform. So that's really Mars Academy USA. And we, focus on, like I just put a few, training analog astronauts, scientists, innovators, explorers, entrepreneurs. I mean, it's really a whole slew. So we're about, being inclusive. It's really about transdisciplinary, international, it's global, and we really want to engage everybody from different sectors. However, I'm going to talk a little bit later about our dual fork pathway, where one is really it's about citizen scientists and opening up this kind of immersion experience to non-academic communities, the general public, but at the same time, we're very, very hardcore. We have another pathway, which is literally very hardcore scientific missions, which only for professional experts. And that's our Mars Medics. So let's go to the next slide. So I like this. I like always using letters because it really condenses and very succinctly summarizes several sort of concepts and principles. So we have the 4 Ds. And what are our 4 Ds? Really is discover, design, dive, and digitize. So discover really is where you're going to literally have a very immersive experience inside one of our fully, real-time missions, right, which we deploy. And in that kind of way, in that setting, you literally will work together. You collaborate, you're going to do conflict resolution, you're going to find ways to resolve issues and challenges, and you'll be able to discover at least some way about what the challenges are that we'll encounter as humanity when we do go into space, when we do one day become a multiplanetary species on, because we're going to go to the moon first, beta test, and then to Mars and beyond. So you're going to discover that. You're going to discover it from an experiential perspective, not in sitting in a classroom, just like here, I'm talking to you like I'm talking to you. You're going to go through it yourself with your crew. At the same time, I think this is really important. This is something, another aspect of what we're trying to show you, to give you that experience. It's about the human factors, right? It's about the self-discovery, your self-empowerment. So you're going to discover in these situations about yourself, because you're confined and isolated for a period of time with a group of people probably you've never met before, and you're going to work together as a unit. Otherwise, that could be, a failure of your mission, or you could sort of, under simulation, theoretically, you can kill your crewmates. So you're going to find out a little bit about yourself. So that's where the discover is. And then, like I said, we have two paths, general missions and the Mars Medic missions. Then design, because we have curated a whole menu of Let's Get Steamed. We call that as our branding is Let's Get Steamed. It's literally curated workshops and activities that you will engage in either in our immersion, as in the mission, or in our indoor facility in downtown LA. And it's like a one-day, very short, abbreviated experience that you're going to have this experience with. So you have two opportunities through our Let's Get Steamed to be able to go through these curated workshops. Deep dive, of course, because we do have, and I'll go into that when you see what the crews actually do. We have curated simulation EVAs, both as a digital astronaut and as real-time, crew. And that's kind of like moved to the digitized, where you can enter our Mars Medic gamification program, which we're starting to develop as multiplayer, and also our Marsland Vr Ar, which is another game that you could use, and hopefully the video will work, that will show you a promo trail. So let's go on to the next slide. Oops. Oh, what happened here? Okay. So this is just giving you, several of the missions that we've deployed. The general missions are the two missions here on the left, and the Mars Medic missions are those two on the, the Mars Medic mission is the one with the Da Vinci and the Red Cross. And so here actually are some of the examples of the missions. Here are the general missions, and they're with the Mars Medics. And I just sort of, use different pictures because you could see in the general mission, usually it's people who are, either citizen scientists with no academic background, and, maybe they're just interested in one of the, verticals of STEAM, and they just want to engage in this way. Or maybe they're just passionate about space exploration. So we want to be able to open that, commercialize this to allow others who maybe are not so geeky like myself, about space and to have this opportunity. And yes, it's the education outreach. But the Mars Medic, as you can see there, these are physicians, space medicine physician, aerospace aviators, they're, jet fighter pilots, and they're explorers. Some of them already gone to Everest, they've gone to Antarctica. So this is a group that we will probably select in for our mid and high fidelity missions in 2019, 2020. So this slide is quite busy, and I want to show you several things. One, yes, we do deploy monthly for our low fidelity missions. So we've been running monthly missions, and we have missions all the way to the end of 2019 and beyond. But really, I wanted to show you that it's a really, there's multiplayer teams in these missions we deploy. So we have a crew, usually of, eight people. But we also, you could see over there, is our remote mission support team. We have over 30 to 40 people from around the world that actually come into our mission and work behind the scenes to be able to support the mission. But right now, we're going to change a little bit of that model because we're able to, because we deploy, by the way, our missions here in Los Angeles, out there in Soledad Canyon, Vasquez Rocks, and Mojave Desert. And so we are able to also have a remote mission center that we're testing out now, so that people can fly in if they want to join the mission, or they're local, of course. That would actually be a lot better and a lot cheaper, and they can actually participate as part of the remote mission support team. But at the same time, we do have our remote medical team. We have a full team. We have physicians. We have psychiatrists, psychologists that also, really take care of the human factors, the psychological, the mental health of the crews. Because in these low fidelity, short durations, okay, maybe it's kind of a bit over, too much. But when we're thinking about trying to optimize and to iterate for longer durations in the more riskier missions, you definitely need to make sure that you have that support team that is being optimized and that you have these procedures, you have this SOPs, you have all that in place. The protocols have been tested and tested again so that you know that you're going to ensure to the highest degree at least and reduce and mitigate a lot of potential of risk for danger of life, because we're talking about going to Everest, we're talking about very extreme environments. So this is a great opportunity for us to be able to do that and to really develop the SOPs and protocols to ensure that we get the whole program in place. At the same time, it allows us to have longitudinal studies, which we do have because we deploy monthly, and we're able to do these longitudinal studies and collect data and analyze and then optimize and iterate those studies as well. So at the same time, you could see we do a lot of different. We have medical EVAs, geological EVAs over there, and we do search and rescue, and we do 3D printing of surgical tools, and so on and so forth. And the whole idea of this, yes, in the long term, it's about trying to find the, I guess, the supportive, platforms and the technology for us one day when we want to go into space, deep space missions, and onto a planetary surface. But, and I think this is really important, it's not just about going to space. I'm becoming multiplanetary, which is my passion, my vision. I see that happening. But the most important message, I think we all should all remember, it's about space for Earth. So everything that allows you to think out of the box, because space allows you to do that, the ideas, the technology, the protocols, right? The countermeasures you develop definitely must have direct benefits for life on Earth, to improve life on Earth. And this is kind of what we're doing. So everything that we're doing here, and you can see the whole slew of activities at the bottom, all the way from Astra wellness, to space art, to medical EVA, to search and rescue. All these things, the technology we develop can literally apply to certain conditions and scenarios here on Earth, like disaster medicine, right? Emergency medicine, 3D printing of surgical tools, and bioprinting of organs. One day, that would literally disrupt and change the way that we do surgery, that we offer healthcare on Earth, let alone to allow us to survive and thrive in space. So this is very busy, but this was a poster we presented at the International Space Station Research and Development last month. And I wanted to show you that because instead of me giving you multiple slides, it condenses everything in the last 6 years that we've been doing in all the different exponential technologies. And I just want to focus on this section first in the middle. So we're very excited, and I know one of the early speakers talked about computer gaming. I think gamification and virtual reality and mixed reality is the way that we're going to use to be able to teach and learn and engage, especially the younger generation. But it really is a really fantastic tool to be able to train and to learn procedures, to learn new knowledge in a fun way, because I think that your experiences make who we are today, right? And if you learn and you enjoy what you're learning, I think that's the key. That retains memory, because I think if anything, you need to be interactive, and that's really what we're trying to do. So we developed the gamification here called the Mars Medic gamification. And because my passion is in medicine, I want to focus on actually how do we train, and this is the key. And this is what we've been doing as well. Can you train non-medical personnel to do basic medicine, basic surgery, basic anesthesia, through using these exponential technologies? And I have to say, the results look pretty promising. So we use gamification, and in this game, you can come in as multiplayers. It's computer-based, and you literally will go through, you go and land on Mars, and you have the space clinic. That's what's going to land on Mars, the space clinic. And in that space clinic, you're going to have the surgical area, you're going to have the wellness area, and then you're able to also do medical EVA, search and rescue, triaging, evacuation back to the space clinic, and then you're able to deploy, you know, the surgery. In fact, you know, you literally were able to come in together and be able to work together as a team. Now, we did this, yes, it's great to be able to offer this out to the general public and for them to have this experience, and because it's fun, right? Who doesn't want to be a doctor and surgeon and play around, as long as you know you're not going to literally kill somebody, all right? So, you know, I mean, that's great, and kids love it. But we use this also for our pre-training, pre-sim training. So before you come into our real-time training mission, you go through, you know, you go through either the gamification or you go through our virtual reality training program as a digital astronaut, as a digital surgeon, or, you know, expert, and you learn those protocols and those procedures before you come into the mission itself. And I think that's really, really important. It saves a lot of time. Also, it allows people to be more engaging, right? At the same time, what we've been doing is, here for the last 6 or 7 years, which is very interesting, is that we started at MDRS, by the way, this study. And here at the top, we worked with Concordia Station, the medical team there in Antarctica. And the question was, can we train non-medical crews at MDRS to be able to learn basic surgery and anesthesia, being tele-mentored by the medical team in Concordia. And we did implement the 5-minute delay, and it was pretty challenging. But at the end of the day, they did learn, although it was challenging in terms of the technical aspect. So, you know, over the years, we've sort of expanded. We included virtual reality. We included, you know, the Google Glass, and this is actually a different version of the, it's a French version of the Google Glass at the time, where you can actually watch the video in the glass and you can learn that way. So there were many iterations of this, and we actually now deploying it in our Mars Medic training with the physicians over here. As you could see, you know, they actually did that, but of course, you know, you say, well, you know, they're physicians, but you have to remember, yes, you're a physician, but you're a different specialty, right? And many physicians, once they go into a specialty area, they forget a lot of the other areas. And so we use this as a retraining. But what's also interesting is that for our Mars Medic, we actually deploy, here's a very early prototype of our Mars clinic, space clinic. And in that, they actually, here you can see, they're doing 3D printing. And here, what's interesting is we've developed our own, I think it's TRL4, our solar-powered portable 3D printing with Mateo robots everywhere. And we printed, as you can see, cogwheels, very, very difficult, you know, designs. It printed out really well. And there's Mateo there with the very early version with the small, you know, solar cells. Yeah. But what was really fascinating in the last 2 missions of the Mars Medic is that we worked with Dr. Ishikita, and we printed out the first innovative free email, which was printed on the International Space Station, is the Vapour Jet. Now, I think this is going to really totally disrupt anesthesia in terms of its portability, the fact that you can 3D print it, and we've been testing it out in our missions, as you could see here. This is an inhalation anesthesia device. It's in several parts. You print all the parts that you could see here. It was printed out on the ISS. It was tested on parabolic flight, and we tested it in our Mars Medic missions and you can see it here. And we continue doing that, and we literally would love to be able to take that up to Kilimanjaro, to remote, isolated environments, Antarctica, and really see, you know, really test this device. But this is the start, because right now we're also talking about expanding this solar-powered 3D printer into a bioprinter, and you can see where that's going to go. That literally will innovate and disrupt, you know, the healthcare industry. Is going to democratize, it's going to reduce cost eventually when that comes. But we're talking about Mars here, right? So you could see that with this technology of what we're doing and training, but also the ability for us to enable us to actually provide medical support for crews that are going on long duration missions and one day on Moon and Mars. And okay, oh yes, so here is about using virtual reality, mixed reality, the HoloLens. So what's very interesting is that we're working on developing our own augmented reality, where you can come in, you know, as multiplayers, And you can work as a team, as avatars, and you can literally work to do a particular procedure. So we've been trying to do that and testing it in remote environments with Mars Medic 111-14 and 15. And also at the same time, we're working with a team from Japan that is using the HoloLens. And what's fascinating, what they've done with the HoloLens is they literally have used this technology in surgery in real time, where they use the HoloLens as a support technology to literally help them to conduct the surgical procedures with the physicians. And so we're saying, okay, this would be great to use this technology, the HoloLens, and to be able to help support the crews in isolation when we go to really remote environments. Like, so you could say, going to Antarctica or going to Everest, if we have a medical emergency, and maybe the doctor's down or the medical crew officer, the physician's down, and then how can you get the others to be able to give some sort of maybe it's a life-threatening emergency, how can you use the tools to be able to allow that to be an intervention to help support, at least give a chance to save the life of the crew member. So these are different technologies, I think, exponential technologies, that really is innovative and is disruptive, and it literally will enable us to give the support mechanism for humans to go into space and not just survive but thrive. Because one of the biggest challenges now, and I think that's probably one of the, people say, oh, I think it's just very difficult for humans, as we all know, right, even just in microgravity on the ISS, to really look at the human health, right? And when there's a life-threatening emergency, what are the countermeasures that they have in place? What are the contingency plans? And we're only in low Earth orbit. When we go beyond low Earth orbit, when we go beyond the moon, when we go into deep space, the crew has to be autonomous, has to be totally independent, and not reliant on any remote support team or mission support. They have to be on their own. And so this is where technology comes in. And this, I think, is important. And it will enable us to be able to achieve that vision. And I'm sure all of us are here because we really want to see that vision of humanity settling on Mars and beyond, right? So that's why Mars Academy USA is really about experiential learning of exponential technologies. And everybody who comes into the mission actually engages and learn and have an experience of all these multiple technologies that we offer. So one, like I say here, we have the digital astronaut. You can come as a digital astronaut, or you can come in as well as a real-time astronaut. And what's really, I think, is exciting is that we offer virtual environment training as a digital astronaut. And you can see up here, well, here you can see at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab at the Johnson Space Center, it's huge ISS, a mock-up replica in this huge pool, right? And they dress in this space and they train in the pool. Well, what we've done is, right, we've used virtual reality. And literally, and if you don't know, water is an analog of space, and it gives you that sensation of floating and just that sensorium of being in space. So we have our swimming pool where we deploy our missions, and we have one of the crew members. He actually is a physician, a space medical physician, and he's trying out a spacewalk in our virtual reality goggles in the swimming pool. So literally, you can, and this is what we're doing, is be able to develop the content for you to literally be able to do what the astronauts do, and that experience in the swimming pool as though you're in space. And so I think that is really, not only is it fun, if you haven't tried it, you should come and give it a try, because it really is fun. And it just gives you that sort of, you can relate to it more because you're feeling it, right? You're not just looking at it, you're not just hearing someone talking about it, you're actually going to go through it. And it really is an extraordinary experience when you wear that VR goggle and you're in the swimming pool and you're floating and you're watching as though you're doing the spacewalk. Really, it's really. And so, these are just other content I'm using, it's just on the thing, but we are that you can get the internet, but we are working on literally in our virtual reality and our augmented reality programming is to build this content where you can literally, immerse yourself and train yourself as though you're either in the spaceship or you're on the planetary surface. So hopefully that this works. This is something we have been working on too, is the Marsland Vr Ar, and we actually present, and we're part of the Digital Hollywood and Space, and this was the poster for that. But I hopefully that we could show you a promo trail of our virtual reality program. So I'm going to try now, and if it works, and cross our fingers. And if not, you could see there is the... And so this is a computer-based virtual reality. So but if you put on VR, you can actually also use a VR. So up here, you could see you could move around, but I don't want to move because I know it will. But you can go 360, you can go up and down. So here you go to an EDL. So when you're wearing your VR goggles, of course, you're going to have a more immersive experience. You get all the sensations, and then also, the sound and everything. And now they're landing. They're going to enter their base camp landing pad. I wish we can turn up the volume. So you can, if you press those arrows, you can actually go 360 around, but I'm not going to do it. So now you're going to enter and go through decompression or recompression. So we have a whole slew of menus, and you can go to different environments, different activities. Now I can actually, so you can see I'm giving you a 360 if you press the arrow. See, I knew that's going to happen. Oh, well, it's close. Hold on, let's see. Is it going to, okay. Right. Yeah. And so, obviously, we're showing you living off the land, right? ISRU. So, and then you can just, look around. So this is just a promo trailer, and hold on one sec. How do we get out of here? Okay. No. Oh, how does one get out of this slide? Oh yeah, that's right. Is it not?
Of course, it's going to fight us.
Huh? We have a technical. Escape. Good thinking there. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, escape. So, yes, so this was the 3D printer, which we already covered. And I think this is very, and I only got 2 more slides, so I think this is really important for what we're doing, and for astronauts, I think, is to look at the wellness and well-being of crews, right? When we're talking about crews living for long duration in a mission going to Mars or beyond, you're going to really have to look at maintaining the wellness and well-being. And so we actually developed MAU's Astra Wellness Program, and here is just a few examples of what we do. We actually, in our Astra Wellness, it's comprised of many different areas to enable the crews to engage, to look at trying to reduce, anxiety, reduce stress, to enjoy and to enjoy their experience with themselves as well as with the crew, and also to be able to allow them to have social bonding, because I think crew interaction, cohesion is absolutely vital. And so here, I think this is very interesting, is body mapping art therapy. Literally this is used as an intervention for therapy. And so we decided, okay, let's try this. And you can see the crew literally doing a body mapping, and then they actually paint on their own body map of their body areas of where they feel some emotional, issues, maybe physical pain or joy. It doesn't have to be all negative. So I think that's really interesting. The next thing we also work in, these are longitudinal studies that when you come into our mission, you get to engage in as well, is meditation. We use music. Meditation, sonic music is our 435 megahertz, where we use that as part of that relaxation, form of meditation. We use meditation with VR, so we also have programmed our meditation program in a virtual reality, so that some people don't like to do in a group, they like to do individually. And then also, looking at collecting EEG, why they're doing that, because obviously we're doing it for a scientific methodology, and we want to collect the data and be able to look at the biometrics as well over time, and how effective are these modalities. So, with that said, just a few of our workshops that we offer. Here is our geological EVA, where we use rovers. We have our full remote mission support team. We also offer entrepreneurship in our workshops, and many more. You can go on our website. And here I'm going to leave you with this message for everyone out there as well, is dream the impossible, because if you believe in it absolutely, and that's the key, that dream will be possible. And we all know that because we saw humanity land on the moon. We are going to go to Mars. We have to believe it. And so I thank you, everyone. Yes, of course.
How can people get to the streaming? Is there a cost involved?
Yes.
And,
yes.
We go to Mars. Probably should go to Mars Academy.
Yes. If you go to our website, there's our upcoming missions. Remember, we have two different types. One is Mars Medics. Those are that is focused on space medicine, health and wellness, and astro, and everything biotech, biomedical development and R&D. That's Mars Medics. The general mission is open to anyone. You don't need to have any academic background. If you're just passionate about space, you really want to have an experience what it is to live like an astronaut and a crew, you can come into our general mission. But we have missions every month, low fidelity, short duration, up in Vasquez Rocks and also at Soledad Canyon with the longer term at Mojave Desert in 2019. So, but we have missions every month all the way to end of 2019, 2020. So if you're interested, please just email us, go onto our website, and you can find more information.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk with you just after this.
Oh, sure.
Oh. Ready to go.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, sorry, one quick question.
Yeah. Do you anticipate that, or do you see that people, after they complete their missions, there's some follow-up from them, or do you have any,
Oh, absolutely.
association
Yes,
of people
yes.
who have gone to the missions who may associate
Oh, yes.
with one another afterwards?
I'm so happy you asked that question. So happy. Because what we do is once you come through our mission, you're part of our family. And we have many supportive mechanisms. One, If you want to continue training, you can continue training, and it gets, if you really want to train hard, you go to Everest, maybe even go to parabolic flight eventually. That is something that we offer. It's a full progressive curriculum. So first you start with our low fidelity short duration, then you're going to go low fidelity long duration, which is 2 months to 6 months. Then you go to mid fidelity, to Kilimanjaro, to Mexico, Hawaii, and then of course after you've done all that training, because each step is going to get more complex, more difficult, and then to Everest and Antarctica. So that's one of the option pathways. The other one is that we offer, if you are interested to come in and participate, maybe you want to bring in an external opportunistic research that we find, we approve, and we've got the resource, we can support you, and maybe you develop a technology or something that is viable, you can remember. We do it every month, so you're able to do longitudinal studies. You can continue collecting that data. We will allow you to do that once you come in with your first study, and we will support you over time. So you can collect your study, you can write your manuscript, you can get your funding. Now, if you only want to go and be a startup as the entrepreneurship, that's what we offer as well. So we'll be able to navigate you through that whole process of a startup company to be an entrepreneur. So you can come in with a concept, you can collect your data, develop your technology, and then if you want to go commercial, be a startup, we can help you with that. So, but what is key, and I love your question, is that coming through our training doesn't mean that's the end. Definitely not. It's actually the beginning of a relationship with us. And we have many partners and very deep collaborations and partnerships with space and medicine and technology and the commercial space is what we're very connected with. So we will be there for you. Thank you for asking that, because that's really important.